Hey guys, welcome to Rev 1211 Life, and actually welcome to the book of Second Timothy. And we're going to move into that right now. I'm excited about that. A lot of good nuggets, a lot of good stuff. But this is a letter that Paul had written, one of his last letters that he had written to Timothy, because at this time, Paul was facing certain death at this point. He was no longer on house arrest or anything like that. He was actually in a hole in prison. So he knew that his head was about to roll at this point. So this is one of the more somber letters to Timothy, but nonetheless, he's encouraging Timothy the whole time. So we're just going to move into that, and I'm going to start here in chapter 1, and verse 1 through, verse 5. I'm going to start there. Paul, he starts with his normal greeting, thanks and peace, but he moves in, he tells Timothy, I remember your genuine faith, for you share the faith that first filled your grandmother Lois and mother Eunice. Now Lois and Eunice, they were early converts, possibly by Paul. So that's what he's talking about there. And I know that the same faith continues strong in you. And I'm going to stop right there. He says Eunice and Lois had the faith. They laid a foundation for Timothy. However, Timothy had to own his own faith. He had to come to belief. He had to come to faith in Jesus Christ on his own as well. There's a lot of us that, and I've asked people, are you a Christian? And they say, well, my mother was and my grandmother was. I grew up around Christians, but that doesn't make you a believer. You can't piggyback or coattail off of grandmother and mother. No matter how you were raised, it's a personal decision that you have to make. So, like here, Eunice and Lois, they're saints in heaven, next to the Father. All that. They've inherited the kingdom. But for you, you need to grab your own faith and make it your own, and making a personal decision for Jesus Christ. Just because they did it, it doesn't mean that it's just passes on to you. So a lot of people really get confused about that. So I just want to make sure we're clear about that. You got to get your own faith. So he says, this is why I remind you to fan into flames the spiritual gift God gave you when I laid my hands on you. For God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but power, love, and self-discipline. So that's what's up. He's telling him, say, you know what? You're a believer and God has gifted you. You need to fan those flames. It's almost like going camping and you got the embers burning, but to get that fire going, you just gently fan the flames, fan that ember, and you get that fire going. That's what some of us have to do with our spiritual gifts. Sometimes we just let them sit dormant and they just kind of sit and smolder. But Paul is encouraging Timothy, man, fan those flames. You're a very gifted person. So each one of us that are believers today, we've been gifted. We've got the gifts of the Holy Spirit, and God has purposed us for a certain thing. So find that purpose, find that gift, and fan the flames of that gift. And don't be scared about it, because Paul is telling Timothy, because God's not giving us a spirit of fear or timidity. We don't have to be fearful of our faith, speaking about it, talking about it. But the people around us, just like Lois and Eunice did with Timothy, they need to see and know who Jesus is through you. So don't waste that opportunity. And it says that he didn't give us that fear and timidity, but power, love, and self-discipline. If you can apply the power of God, his love, and the self-discipline that he provides you, if you can exercise those three things in your life, you can gain victory, and your gifts will be on display for the entire world to see. So don't miss out on that. Number one, own your own faith. You can't piggyback, because God has no grandchildren. They're just his children. You either are or you're not. And to fan your flames, fan the gifts that God has given you. so that you can be a part of bringing his kingdom here on earth. That's purposeful living right there. So, guys, I encourage you right now to not live in fear and timidity. Don't be shy about your faith, but live in power, love people, and have self-discipline about yourself, because this world is rough. So I encourage you that way today. God bless you. I'll be talking to you soon, Lord willing, as we move into 2 Timothy. God bless you.